President Biden and Hunter now on a taxpayer-funded family trip to Ireland. Enjoy it, fellas, because a new report shedding light on just how much Joe knew about Hunter's shady overseas dealings. According to visitor logs, Hunter Biden's business partners and assistants visited the White House over 80 times while Joe Biden was vice president. 80 times. And yet Joe has repeatedly denied knowledge of Hunter's alleged backroom deals.
Never discussed a single thing with my son about anything having to do with Ukraine.
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
I don't know what he was doing. I did not know he was on the board of that company. I've never discussed my business or their business, my sons or daughters. I have never discussed with my son or my brother or anyone else anything having to do with their businesses, period.
That's a lot of visits to only talk about ice cream and Amtrak rides, Joe. So is President Biden lying to the American people, or does he just not remember anything that happened over 15 minutes ago? Here with me in studio, Florida Republican Congressman on the House Oversight Committee, Byron Donalds in the House BD. We're in Times Square.
Yep.
Who do you trust more, Joe Biden or the guy selling $3 Rolexes on 49th Street?
Listen, at least the guy on the corner knows that his stuff is fake. He knows it's fake, and he knows what he's giving you. And you also know it's fake, because you're like, okay, I know I'm walking into this.
Yeah.
Rollies are supposed to be in the jewelry store, not on the corner. Everybody knows.
Yeah, you can stunt a little bit, and everybody's kind of in on the joke. But with
100%.
Biden, when he took the position that he took, which was pretty brazen, by the way, never talked to him, never knew him. Okay, let's assume he's telling the truth, which he's not. They went to the White House 80 times. Who would they have been talking to?
Jimmy, stop. I can't even assume.
You can't even play.
Look,
you can't even play act.
I got children, too.
Yeah.
If my son gets in trouble in school, and teachers, I'm sorry, it happens, I know.
Yeah.
But when they send an email, I know. I talk to my son. Hey, what'd you do in school? Oh, I was talking too much.
Yeah.
How long were you talking? Well, I don't know. Did the teacher tell you to stop talking? Well, yeah. And did you stop talking? Well, no. You kidding me? You mean that his son was showing up in the White House 80 times and never said, hey, Hunter, how's business? Where's all this money coming from? Because I thought you were on drugs. That conversation never came up.
Never once. A beginning painter is now getting $500,000 a painting.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you think the price is high, you should meet the painter. But stick with me, okay? That alone wouldn't be grounds for Biden to be concerned, knowing that the Obama Treasury Department, I believe they filed 150 suspicious activity reports about Biden currency and transactions. Mm-hmm. So there's no plausible world where he didn't know. I guess we agree there. But my next question becomes, we know Comer is investigating him on his side of town, okay? Is there a world, okay, where the Democrats are actually rooting for Republicans to find something, given the political liability Biden has become?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a world for that, because even if you look at polling, only 25% of Democrats want him to run.
Imagine that.
I think 25% of Democrats want him to run. So they're all quietly hoping something happens. Number one on that draft list is Kamala Harris. She's sitting there but actually, you know who number two is? Gretchen Whitmer.
You think so?
I think she's number two. I think she's number two on the hit list. I think it's Gretchen in the kitchen with the wrench. I think that's her. And she's just sitting there being like, where's this thing? What's going on here? No, but in all seriousness.
Yeah, of course.
We know he knows because Joe Biden did something that no other president has done. Trump, Obama, Bush, Clinton. He blocked Congress from seeing suspicious activity reports. No other president, Republican, Democrat, has blocked Congress's ability to view these reports. Joe Biden did. Why?
Think about that. You're buying a used car and you're like, can I see the Carfax? And they're like, no. You're like, wait, what? I don't know if I'm going to buy this vehicle. He's like, no, you can't see it. We'll give you a 2-day, 20-second warranty is what we'll do.
Well, wait, can I buy the car for $2,000?
Talk me down a little bit.
Maybe a lot. I got to get you down with no Carfax.
So now he's overseas. He's in Ireland with Hunter Biden. Shouldn't the Democrats at this point just send him to Epcot and tell him he's overseas?
Look, my question is, why is Hunter Biden even around?
Yeah.
He should not be anywhere near Air Force 1, 2, 3, or 6.
Not even the movie with Harrison Ford.
He shouldn't be at the Naval Observatory visiting the second gentleman. He should be somewhere else. He should hang out in Delaware and never to be seen for the next couple of years. Honestly, I think it's outrageous.
Yeah.
We know that the brother skips on all this because the brother seems somewhat normal, except that he doesn't have a business either, except Joe Biden.
Yeah.
They've been running around the world, cutting all these deals, getting all this money into the family. The big guy's gotten his money somehow. Wire transfers. I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Yep.
But the thing about all this is, is Joe Biden's decision-making compromised by his brother and his son? That is the fundamental question. And looking at what's happening around the globe, looking at what we're doing, the EPA just did under the Biden administration about cars, and knowing that all this stuff comes from China. And the brother and the son have been in business with China.
Little shady.
Like, you know, I don't know, folks.
A lot of money flying back and forth from Beijing. You ain't kidding. Byron Donalds, the Michael Jordan of congressmen, when he played on the Wizards. But the point is, still Michael Jordan. Still Michael Jordan. No, we love you. You're the best. Thank you. You're the best.
Thank you, Jimmy.